All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Model Monday Live. I think we just lost the audio. Hold on a second. We got to make sure that we got the audio in here. It's not the same without the audio, everybody. Welcome. Do not adjust your screens. Do not adjust your cameras. I lost my hat. I left it. I didn't lose it. I just left it back at the homestead. So no hat today. Well, shout out to Positive Wiring, a great company run by my good friend Matthew. Shout out to Matthew and to Positive Wiring. Got to keep things positive. Nice AI green screen backdrop. Yeah, exactly. Saw the orange VW bus in the thumbnail. Yeah, exactly. It's just like your bus, Ivan. That is exactly right. I thought about you too when I saw that thumbnail. No, that's just an indicator that we are officially on the road today. So let me grab the audio here. I think it's going to be this one. There we go. Boom. We got music again. Wonder if that's going to be there when we jump to the PowerPoint. Negative. Let's just add it, right? Music is so important in life, guys. All right, there may be a few scenes that we go to that don't have the audio today. I am on the road, not using my regular setup for this live stream today, so we want to just make sure that we're kind of making everybody feel as comfortable as possible in this experimental mobile environment. But hey, if this works well, maybe we can do more mobile stuff. Maybe we can do live interviews with people. Maybe we can get to meet some of the people that are regulars here on the channel, meet them in person and interview them live in person. I think that would be a lot of fun. You really capture the energy when you do things live and in person. I'm going to take a little sip of my, I guess this is tea, English breakfast. Shout out to Bodie McBoatpants for the recommendation. And we are going to get going here. Arthur is here in the chat. Hello, my friend. Ricardo Jean is here. Dom is here today. Welcome, one and all. And let's see who else. Yup, that's me is here. Welcome. Jim Yu is here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Rambro's Workshop is here. Hello, my friend. Welcome, and welcome. Ricardo Jean saying he likes the voice today. Thank you. Yes, we're going a little bit deeper today to compensate for the high gain on this headset mic. All right, guys, let's do this. I got some good models for you today. I tried to let the models be the stars today. So I tried to put together some good stuff to really challenge you throughout today's live stream. So let's get into it today. Today is Monday, April 14th, and welcome to your episode of Model Monday Live, where we challenge you to take a 2D drawing and turn it into a 3D model and calculate the mass as quickly as possible. So we are going to get into it here. Just make this cropped a little differently here. We're going to go to our agenda of the day. We're going to do two CAD speed modeling challenges. These are going to be a little bit tougher today, so we're going to try and kind of speed our way to these challenges. We're going to do some updates from the world of TooTallToby, and we're going to hang out with the best chat ever. So thank you, of course, to all of our followers, all of our subscribers, all of our Practice Models Premium users, our Discord crew. Thank you all so much. It's so good to see all of you. And Matav is here. Welcome, Matav. Thanks for joining us. And thank you, of course, to Crispyco as well. I know I've been giving Crispyco shout-outs the past couple days. It's kind of like my mirrored counterpart on the other side of the world. So I would love to do a road trip to visit Crispyco in Australia and to hang out with him and to learn about his setup. And he does a lot of cool content on his channel. Check him out on the Fully Defined channel. And Paragene is here in the chat. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for joining us. And so don't forget to support the channel. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to share and reshare. And, of course, visit us over at TooTallToby.com/training if you're interested in getting your CSWP or your SolidWorks training. We have a lot of great training content available over there for anyone who is ready to get their certification. All right. Here we go, guys. Let's get into it. We got some good challenges today. My goal was to try to get to this point of the presentation as quickly as possible because I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to get through these challenges today. So we're going to show you a 2D print. We're going to challenge you to turn it into a 3D model, calculate the mass, and enter that mass directly in the YouTube chat. Now, in order to do this, you can use any 3D CAD package, but you have to be able to input density and output mass, and make sure you use the correct specified precision. First person to answer correctly in the chat and lock in their answer will be declared the winner. And the material specifications we're going to be using are shown here. If you're here for the first time, maybe just take a moment, do a screen capture, make sure that you've got these materials in your setup, or at least that you're ready to do a custom material in your setup. Quick shout out to all the Shaper 3D users out there. If you're out there and you're using Shaper 3D, let us know in the chat. We're going to see some more. We're going to see more and more Shaper 3D users as these challenges go on. All right, and the advanced rules are this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I will make mistakes. If you guys tuned in last week, you might have seen 1 or 2 mistakes that I made. And the Ivan exploit is permitted during these challenges. All right, and here we go. Your first challenge today. We surveyed 100 people. We asked them what kind of challenges you want to see. And this first CAD vs. CAD 3D CAD speed modeling challenge begins in 3. By the way, guys, the music is probably going to cut for a second. I'll fix it once I show the print. In 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? The tolerance on this part is plus or minus 1 full gram. Yo, that's a nice tolerance. And this is a sheet metal part. The flat pattern is shown for reference only. You can see it's got an 8mm wall thickness. It's got a 10mm default inside bend radius, and there's a couple of tricky features on this one. So good luck to all the sheet metal people out there, and let's add our audio, our system audio. Let's go. There we go. We like this song. Yeah. Yeah, we like this song. Lucky day for the runners. Good lucky. I think he said lucky day for the runners, Ricardo. Good lucky for the runners. Yes, indeed. So take a screen capture of that model. Aaron C. in the chat. Yup, that's me. Says, I'm not a sheet metal guy. Well, that's all right. You can still practice it. Or you can model it as thin, you know. Sitting this one out because I stink at sheet metal. All right, fair enough. Hey, guys. We were sleeping. Sleeping in, LOL. Mesa Makes on the West Coast. Says we were sleeping in, yeah. Let's go. Go, 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 Aaron. See, you can still win. Pico Boo is in the chat. Says hello, hello. Yeah, we got a couple of challenging models for everybody today, so we're going to let the models do the speaking today. I'm on the road on a mobile setup. I'm going to make sure that we let the models do the talking. Of course, we are on the road, so any help you guys can give me as far as the levels, if the music is too loud, if it's too quiet, let me know. I'll try and make some adjustments here, but let me know if anything's too loud, too quiet. Maybe I'll bump it down to about. I think that's probably good. A good contrast between my voice and the music. Ashok Kumar is here in the chat. What's up? What's up? Where am I, Aaron? See, you could probably guess just by seeing the building that I'm staying in. Here, let me show you. Here you go. Based on the architecture of this building, what city am I in? I haven't told anybody yet, Aaron C. So I'm gonna let you guess just by looking at the building. I think you could probably figure it out pretty quick. All right. Welcome, welcome. One and all. We are on the road this week. 1609 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Nice. I like how you work the key digits into that address. Bodie McBowpants trying to dox me. I don't think that's actually the correct address, though. Anything on Pennsylvania Avenue, though, the only thing I think of is the White House, right? Next door to 69. There you go. Nice. Yeah, that's good. You're probably going to get me swatted just from posting that in the chat. Pico Boo says Milwaukee. Good guess. Good guess. Not correct, but a good guess. I like it. Guys, what's going on in the world of TooTallToby? I'm gonna let you guys solve that. That's a tough one. That's a big one to bite off there. You know, for me as a sheet metal guy, what I always look at in sheet metal is I always look for geometry that can be included in the first sketch. So maybe geometry like this, but probably I would actually probably include this geometry in the first sketch. And honestly, with all my sheet metal experience working with customers, I would probably create this line here, and then I would use the offset tool and create an offset line here. Now, maybe this offset line would be for construction, but I would probably create an offset line like this, because that way I can get in there and create that 14 dimension. You know, I can create this dimension here, the 14, going from that top surface to the bottom surface, and I can get in here and I can create this 80 dimension, and I can create this radius 10 and this radius 18 dimension, because I, you know, create this geometry here with the offset. So that's probably how I would do it. When the thing with sheet metal that gets tricky is when the customer gives you a print like this, where you've got like the inside of the material and the outside of the material, and they're being dimensioned between. So that's my little trick in the world of sheet metal. I'll create kind of the base shape, and then I will use the offset entities command to offset to the wall thickness, and then I still only extrude, you know, or sheet metal extrude that red line that's on top there. I don't extrude both of them, but that's kind of how I, you know, that's kind of how I get through and create the geometry when it's dimensioned like this. This is where sheet metal really, you know, it gets real, is when the customer gives you dimensions that are you know, dimensions that are kind of to the inside and the outside of the sheet metal. You have to figure out a way to account for that. And so, you know, a lot of times I'll use equations or linked variables, or in Onshape I'll use a variable table, and I will create that thickness as a variable and then link to it in the offset distance, because that way if the customer comes back and says, could we do this at 6 millimeter instead of 8 millimeter, all I gotta do is change one dimension and then everything updates. So, you know, there are little things you can do when you make those adjustments when you are designing for sheet metal, but this is definitely one of the more challenging things that comes up when the customer gives you dimensions that don't really like jive with the CAD software. Jive is the official term we're going to use for that. Ashok Kumar says, are you in India? No, I'm not in India. Another excellent guess. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share and reshare if you're enjoying what we're doing here on Model Monday Live. Remember, your mission every week is to walk up to a coworker and whisper in their ear and say, hey, have you visited TooTallToby.com? Did you sign up for Practice Models Premium? Just lean over and whisper right in their ear. And, of course, you can join the party by signing up for Practice Models Premium, by using the Super Chat, Super Thanks, by joining the channel, by taking training with Toby. These are all great ways to support what we're trying to do here at TooTallToby.com. To get me on the road into more brick buildings like the one that I am currently in. There's probably some audio clues in the background, too, that you guys might hear throughout this live stream. Guys, we are scheduling our upcoming tournaments this year. So far, we've got the Summer Open, 2025 Summer Open. I thought it was the Spring Open. Hold on. We need to make an adjustment here. Hold on, everybody. Doing some behind-the-scenes magic here. I thought this was still the Spring Open, right? Because May is still in spring, isn't it? We're officially calling it the Spring Open. Maybe that Summer Open was just like our placeholder. Spring. We need to save summer for another tournament. I have so many ideas for tournaments. These are going to be good ones. All right, retry. Spring Open 2025 8-person tournament, global enrollment, qualify on the TTT website. Man, we've got so many people who have tried to qualify already. It's fantastic. It's so exciting. Tournaments, tournament page. Don't forget, when you visit the tournament page, you can scroll down here and you can see all of our previous winners, including Rambro's Workshop. Shout out to Rambro's Workshop. Interesting in the chat, Rambro's Workshop says, I use solid modeling. I'm not a fan of sheet metal. During the tournament, he got quite a few sheet metal models and just absolutely crushed. So if you want to see Rambro's using Fusion and modeling in sheet metal, just take a look at this link here to the YouTube channel. Take a look at some of the matches that he went through. There were some really good sheet metal models in those matches. And then, of course, up top here, you can see we can click here to qualify for free. And look at all the people. Look, we got a Rhino user here. Scott makes a thing. Rhino user here. qualifying for the tournament. Very SolidWorks heavy here, but look at Ex Machina coming in. A Libre. We're going to see a Libre this year. We got an Inventor user here, Fusion 360 user in the top 8. This is what I like to see. Okay, we can't have this all be SolidWorks. We got to have a variety of CAD systems in here. Rambro says, I will do sheet metal for you guys. Dom coming in with an answer in the chat. We see Dom here in the tournament as well. Dom's been in the Final Four and the finals, I think, multiple times. Still trying to chase down that first win. I got a feeling this is Dom's tournament this year, so be on the lookout. He's going to be coming through crushing. I'd say coming through here with number 4 in SolidWorks. Of course, you can watch all these videos of all these runners competing. Sorry, guys, my throat's a little dry today. Got to keep that water flowing. And of course, it is tepid water for Bodie McPants. I'm sure you're wondering. Yes, it is tepid water today. All right, guys. Keep going, keep going. Dom in the chat says, I got beat by Mr. I don't like sheet metal on a sheet metal part. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking when he said that too. All right, guys, make sure that you share this with anybody you know. If you know anybody, can you put measurement values on a start drawing page somewhere around reveal drawing button? Yeah, that's a great question, Roman. We've thought about that as well. Let's just say yes, that is in the pipeline as a potential enhancement. So at TooTallToby.com. So for the users at TooTallToby.com who are attempting to speed model the practice models, so like you can see here, look at Crispico coming in with a faster time, beating the CATIA user, 49 seconds. Let's go. So for the users that are going through the practice models and trying to do the speed modeling, it would be nice if if we go in here to let's say we go in here to try again, for example. It'd be nice if we could do reveal drawing, and before you click reveal drawing and the clock begins, it'd be nice if you could see the unit system and maybe the material as well. So that's a legit request from. We've gotten that from other people too, and that's something that's in the pipeline. Yeah, great question. Okay, looks like we got the students coming into the chat. There we go. We got LOL Funtime 52. We got someone calm, and we got Raymond Cervantes coming into the chat. We had these guys visit us in the Discord last week. It was a lot of fun, and leave us some messages on YouTube. And now they're coming into the live stream, so this will be fun. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, guys, we put out a lot of content for free. We put out a lot of exercises for free, and we're also trying to keep the business running. You know, it's not free to run a business. It's not free to do all the development that we're doing, to hire the amazing programmers that we have, and to to put all that information out there. So we try to come up with a good a good price point that would work for everybody. We settled on, I think it's now at $5.80 a month, $5.80 a month if you get the annual package. So definitely feel like we've hit a good price point, a fair price point, and a lot of people in the community agree that this is, that we're on the right track here. So so that's why we decided to move the Try Again into a premium membership feature. Yep. So good question there from the students who came into the chat. Thank you guys for sharing that. I hope that answers the question. I hope that answers the question for you. Let's see. Does it make the Let's see here. Does it make it free for students, please? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an option that we could go down, and there's a good way to handle that. Like, you could contact me, you could have your instructor contact me, we could work together. Probably you guys spamming the Discord and spamming the YouTube comments, probably not the best way to handle that. But I know that it's a reasonable concern, a reasonable request, and we could definitely work with you guys, but there's probably like a better way to handle that. You could talk to your instructor, get your instructor to reach out to me, or I mean, even you guys could maybe reach out to me through like the contact page, for example. Or I know that we've reached out to you to talk to you about these types of things, and I know that a lot of you guys have taken the free training with me with the 30-minute quick start. So I know that that I'm out there trying to put out a lot of free content to help students. So hopefully that respect will go both ways, and we'll get the respect back from you as well. We don't want to ever have to ban people, or have to. It's kind of a pain to have to go through and clean up all the Discord comments, and some of that stuff was a little bit, we'll say, unnecessary. Some of the stuff you guys were saying last week. All right, so I hope that answers that question. We'll see what happens. All right, just trying to make sure that I'm not missing anybody else's questions here in the chat. All right, and got to look at the tournament qualification runs there. This one was a rare case from TTT where material is outside. Yeah, on the sheet metal. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that training, guys, don't forget we do have the Zero to Hero training program where you can start out for free. We've had a lot of students go through and benefit from this totally free content that we've put out there, 30-minute quick start. And then after that, if you want to sign up for the SolidWorks 101 and the CSWP prep, it gives you that kind of nice 1, 2, 3 combo. You could get your CSWP certification in less than a month if you go through all of those trainings. So definitely want to consider taking a look at that and getting your CSWP. It's a great certification to have on your resume. All right, and finally, last week we did a little experiment with our new partnership in the world of practice models. We had Practice Models and Model Monday Live combined together. We're going to do it again today in just a couple of minutes and give people the ability to try again. You know, we've just heard from the students in the chat that they really like that try again feature, that the try again feature is super helpful. And so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make it so that everyone can at least get a taste of that try again functionality. So up here in the featured challenge practice models, you can do that try again. And we're going to cycle through these, you know, every week, every couple of weeks on a pretty regular cadence. We're going to be cycling through these and giving you some new models to practice with and to do try again with. So, you know, in the meantime, for students, like thinking about students, that would give you something that you and your fellow students could compete together on. It would give you the ability to do try again and kind of compete together on some of these challenges. So we're definitely aware that there's a lot of students out there, and we're trying to do the best thing to kind of find that middle ground between being able to keep the doors open and giving our students some good content, you know, good content to practice too. Okay, and looks like Connor's coming into the chat here with a really helpful, really responsible way of speaking. I'm sure that's something that's going to make his teacher proud of him. All right. So guys, don't forget, we on the Practice Models Premium app, we do have a lot of great content here to help you guys continue to learn, continue to practice. And let's see here. I'm trying to watch my time here because I want to make sure that I give you guys enough time for the second challenge. So we've talked about this kind of stuff in the previous weeks. I mean, I think it definitely bears repeating. Every month we're trying to spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money trying to continue to improve the website, continue to improve the app, and give you guys more and more tools that you can not only compete against yourselves, but compete against each other. And so now we've got our new speed modeling leaderboard that we just added last month. We've got the ability to purchase for lower prices. Oh, $583 a month. I couldn't remember exactly what that number was, but some new lower pricing options to make it a little more appealing. You know, if you are a student out there, you can maybe talk to your parents, see if this is something that they'd be willing to pick up the tab for. It's educational. And of course, we are gonna now be rolling out these featured challenges so that as we're going through and we're rolling out new models, we're giving people kind of a new venue to compete in with these featured challenges and giving everybody the ability to do speed modeling. It's been a lot of fun this week watching this go back and forth. It started out with the ability to do it started out with with Crispy Co showing up there on the leaderboard, kind of finishing both, getting a fastest time, and then we have Matab taking on both of them, then Crispy Co. Then we had our resident Katia user come through, MCGA, and do the first model in 38 seconds and the second model, I think, in 52 seconds. And then we saw Crispy Co get in there and finish that model in just 49 seconds. And so when we go here to the website and we look at this featured model, what's cool is that you can actually see all these previous speed runs. So you see we've got the Crispy Co run here, 49 seconds. The MCGA run here, 52 seconds. We've got the... hold on a second. Let me just get rid of this. Take care of... There we go. Oh, no. We'll just get this. We can just do... This one, right? There we go. Easy peasy. So then we've got Dom here, 1 minute 20 seconds. We got Metab here, 1 minute 30 seconds. It's pretty cool that we're able just to go through and see all these runners from all these different countries and actually watch their videos and then learn from their workflows. You know, we saw this a lot when we had that user who was running these models in SolidWorks and using the intersect command and using it in a really clever way. And then we saw the other users go through and start using the intersect command. So very excited to continue to see kind of how this speed modeling leaderboard evolves over time, and we're going to have a new featured challenge just a little bit later in this live stream. I want to give a huge shout out to Bodie McBowpants. Thank you so much to Bodie McBowpants for helping make this a reality. And of course, we want to say a huge shout out here to Hooby3DFX, our other programmer here on the team who's really helping us make these tables, these challenges, these speedruns into a reality. So thank you guys so much, and let's continue on here. I think that's pretty much it for that update. I know I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here. There's like a couple things happening at once. We're getting some unusual feedback here in the chat that we're trying to manage. My throat is going a little bit dry, so I can't keep talking. I'm on the road. I'm in a different place here on the road. There's like sirens going off on the outside, so this is fun. This is kind of actually where I thrive. This is like just at the right level for my very short attention span. Guys, check us out on the Discord if you want to hang out and you want to join us and chat, or if you want to ask anything. He never did compete. Yeah, I remember the Intersect guy. I forget what his name was, but he never did end up competing. I was really excited to see him compete. He was going to, but then he wasn't able to. New York is a good guess, but not in New York City, no. But you're on the right track, that's for sure. I see Roman here says, unfortunately, Onshape loses to other CADs in speedruns. Well, the thing is, if we go back here to our tournaments history, so go to the tournaments page, you'll be happy to see that back in 2023, or 2022, excuse me, we had an Onshape winner win the entire thing, the entire World Championship. So when we got to the Final Four here, we had 3 SolidWorks users and 1 Onshape user, and it was the Onshape user who won the whole thing. And then when we move forward here to our Spring Open from last year, once again, we had an Onshape winner win the whole thing. So, yeah, Onshape winners absolutely can win the tournaments. The speed running, when you're able to kind of like plan out your run and you're able to look at the thing and see other people's runs and learn from other people, it's a little bit different from the tournament. You know, the tournament is more about like you having your fundamentals and you getting those fundamentals down and making sure that that you really truly understand the best practices, best workflows, and how to create a lot of different types of geometry. That's what you're really tested on in the tournament. So I think the tournament is more of like real world problem solving and real time problem solving, where the speed runs is a slightly different skill. It's still really interesting, and it's where we can really work on our optimal runs and optimal workflows. But I think that the tournament is a different animal, and absolutely it's more about the wizard than the wand. We've got a fusion winner, an Onshape winner, SolidWorks winner, an Inventor winner. So we've got users from all different CAD systems who have won this thing in the past. All right, that's it for now. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And let's get into it here next by talking about, let's see here, the answer to this first question. So we're going to go in here. We're going to bring up the chat here. And let's see what we got here. Guy almost answered the question correct. Look, he said 1,600. It was almost right in line with what Rambro's Workshop is saying. Here's 1,068. So 1,068, Dom Linder coming in with an answer, 1,072, Metab 1,004. Oh, I like this variance. Metab 1,072. Let's see here. Paragene 1,068, Metab revising to 1,068. I like it, I like it. And that's it. Oh, FPV Kev made it. I thought you weren't going to make it. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So glad to see you here. We're on the road today. Guys, the correct answer is 1,068 grams. So congratulations to, who was it? Rambro's Workshop, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, Mr. I don't like sheet metal, comes in and gets the first point of the day using, probably not using sheet metal, right? He said he didn't use it. I use solid modeling. I'm not a fan of sheet metal. That's fine too. You could do it with solids as well. You just won't be able to get the cool sheet metal flat pattern. Eventually we'll do some sheet metal challenges where you do have to measure the flat pattern to confirm you did it right, but well done. Certified GOAT, according to Aaron C. Well done, my friend. Good job. GG. Good game. All right, guys. Well, I think it's that time. I think we're going to get into our second challenge here. And so for our second challenge, I should have warned you guys about this before. For our second challenge, you're going to need to have a user account here at TooTallToby.com. So take a minute. I'll give you guys 1 minute here. Most of you guys already have an account there, but just in case you don't have an account yet, head over to TooTallToby.com and you're going to click Get Started. And what we're going to do is we're going to refresh this page. What? Matab. Oh my gosh. So Crispy Co had a faster time than MCGA. You know, last week he had it and he said, oh man, I only had the record for less than 24 hours. And then somebody else came in and beat it. And now it looks like Matab came in. Crispy Co, he posted that video this morning, and now Matab has come in, and it looks like he's beaten his record on this first featured challenge model. Wow. FPV Kev says that featured challenge took me 18 minutes. So Matab coming in and looking like he's besting Crispy Co by 1 second. I got to see these videos at some point. Look how close these runs are. Man, Crispy Co is not going to like that, Matab. He only had the record this time for like 2 hours. That's crazy. Okay. Wow. Wow. Well done, my friend. All right, well, we're going to have to take a look at those videos at some point. I'm going to leave this featured challenge up here. I'm just going to unlock a new one for everybody. So that's how we're going to do this new challenge here. So this new challenge is going to begin. Here we go. You guys ready? Sign up for a free account at TooTallToby.com. Visit TooTallToby.com/practice. And this new challenge will begin. I hope you guys had enough time to sign up for this, because we're going to do this now. We're going to do it live. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hold on a second. In. Hold on a second. Processing. Updating numbers. Processing, updating numbers, everybody. Sign up for your free account. Here we go. This new practice model challenge will begin in 3, 2, 1. Click refresh here on the practice models page, and you should see a brand new challenge here, 250403. Click here to practice, and we are going to see a top 100 leaderboard, which will populate as people complete this model. So good luck to everyone. We'll come back and we'll check in on that practice models, or that leaderboard, in just a minute. But for now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say click here to begin and reveal drawing. And here we go. My time is running. Now, we do have this premium speedrun mode. We are going to be continuing to refine this a little bit. But just for those of you who are working here on these challenges, you can click on this button, and that does pop out the drawing in its own window. So that way you can kind of move the clock, kind of put the clock over on your second screen or whatever, or put the drawing on your second screen, however you want to do it. But that way you can kind of move the clock a little bit, and then you can really focus on the drawing itself. So this is nice. It's nice and modular. The clock shows up on there too, but mainly what people want is just to be able to move this so that they can put the clock on the screen and resize the clock while they're doing their run. So here we go. Anytime we do a challenge, we want to think to ourselves, what is the best way to create this model? And I think that for me, the way that I would create this model is I would probably start here on this upper, this kind of upper section of the model, this section here. This nice little base plate here. Of course, we also need to decide where the origin is going to be. We do have the center line symmetric here, and the base plate probably is symmetric, but I think I would opt to put the origin either here or here, one side or the other of the base plate. So I think I'll probably end up putting the origin here. So you want to decide, first of all, what your first feature is going to be, what your first sketch is going to be, where your origin is going to be. Usually I start by deciding where should my origin be located, and then I start thinking what should my first sketch look like, what sketch plane is it going to be on, and then what's the actual feature going to look like that comes from that sketch. So then you start thinking kind of through the model, what other features are you going to create? So for a model like this, I would probably create this feature first, extrude it up, and then I would create this feature over here, maybe do it as a revolve, or do it as a series of boss extrudes. Either way, I would create this section up here that's kind of hanging out up in space. And then once I've got that geometry in place, then I'm going to be ready to move on and create the rest of the geometry for the part. So I'm going to be able to create this shape here, this kind of rib shape, this shape here, which is also kind of a rib shape. I'm going to be able to create these little bosses that are sticking up so that I'll be able to populate those with those holes. And then I'll finish off by adding this hole in here, and we've got a fillet here on this transition, and we've got a fillet here on these corners. So you kind of think through what's going to be the order in which you're going to create the features from this model, and then once you're done thinking through that, you're ready to jump into your CAD system. So for me, I'm going to be modeling this using Onshape. Let me bring up my keyboard cam here so you can see any of the keyboard shortcuts that I'm using. I think I probably lost the music there. There we go. Brought it back. I had it ready to go. I was thinking about it for that one. So let's get into it here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the clock back over. And the nice thing here is that now I can use control and the middle mouse wheel here to drag. So I can make that clock nice and small. So if you are doing some kind of a speed run, you can kind of leave the clock up on the screen there, but make it just a little bit smaller by doing control drag. And you're not going to end up losing the drawing because you have the drawing open in that, whatever it's called, premium speed running mode. Really, it's just going to be called show the drawing. Show the drawing somewhere else. So here we go. The clock is running. We're already 3 minutes in. No, that's a little bit of a long time. Maybe I'll, oh, whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter. You got to plan it out, right? Even though the clock is running, it's still important to plan out your design. So I'm going to say create document. I'm going to call this 25-04-03 standoff bracket 3. And I'm going to say create public document. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to the hamburger menu here. And then from the hamburger menu, I'm going to choose to go to workspace units. And just make sure that I'm working in millimeters. Make sure that I'm working in grams. So once I've got that geometry, once I've got those settings all set up, then what I can do is I can start out with my game plan, which is to start here on this face. And I'm going to S key. Begin a sketch, N key to get normal, S key to create a rectangle. I'm going to create a rectangle here like so, which has the dimensions 70 by 110. And then I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to take this line of the rectangle and this point here, which is the origin, and I'm going to press Shift M, and that's the Onshape shortcut for midpoint. So let's see here. Do they have to display the correct mass and just enter the mass? Not just enter the mass they know to be right. No, I mean, for the speed runs, you have to enter the mass. You have to do both. You have to show the mass on the screen, and you have to enter the mass in the answer. You have to get that purple box to show up and enter the mass there. For the top 100, I think maybe what you're asking, FPV Kev, is for the top 100. Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that we get it into that top 100 leaderboard. I see some answers already coming in, and we'll go back and look at those answers in just a minute. But yeah, let's see if we can get those answers into the app. And then if you want to enter it in the YouTube chat, that's fine too. You could always, get it in both spots. So now let's take this geometry and let's extrude this. And we're going to bring this up to 15 millimeters. And there we go. That looks good. And so that's our first shape. And remember, for our second shape, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to create this geometry here, this kind of upper section. Now, I think I'm going to leave it solid. I don't think I'm going to put that hole in that upper section. And I think just because it makes it easier than necessarily creating a new plane or offsetting from a distance, I'm going to do this as a revolve. So I'm going to create this shape here that looks kind of like this. And one thing that I've learned about Onshape that's pretty helpful is when you're trying to create a reference to a point from your sketch, you can just take your mouse down and hold your mouse over that point. And that kind of wakes it up so that then you can snap to that vertical relationship. So it's kind of I'm going to do that again just because I think it's such an important skill to learn. What you can do here is you can press the S key, begin the line command. So I'm going to move over here. Whoops. Try that again. Try that again. Here we go. So S key, begin the line command. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to move up. I'm going to move over. I'm going to move up. I'm going to move over, and now I want to be exactly vertical to that point down there. Well, you notice I'm not picking up on the vertical relationship, but if I just take my mouse down and put it over that point and then move up, now you can see that I am getting vertical to that location. So now I can single click, move my mouse down to here, single click, and there we go. And so now what we can do is we can S key, we can go into the dimension command, and we can start adding dimensions to this thing. But before we do, what we could do is we could create one more line here and press the letter Q. And that's a construction line, and that way when we go in and we start adding dimensions, we can create a dimension to that construction line, then we can cross over that construction line and get what's called the doubled dimension. So we're going to make this doubled dimension here at 40, and we're going to make the height here of this section at 25. And we're going to make the doubled dimension to this region here. So doubled dimension again, that one's going to be a 30, and then the height here to this little upper section is going to be at 5. And then the total height from the floor, so you can always pick the plane down here. If you don't want to pick the model, you can always pick the plane, is going to be 70. And then the, this is kind of a weird one. It's 15 plus 105 from the back end of the part here. So from the back end of the part, or again, from this plane to this center line, is 15 plus 105. Now, really what that is it's a center-to-center distance to the hole that's running through here. There's a hole that's running through the model there, and it's a center-to-center distance between those two for alignment reasons. But in this case, we're just going to take that 15 plus 105 and use that simple arithmetic in the Onshape dimensioning tool. Adsay is in the chat. Says, what's up? Just saying hi. What's up, my friend? Welcome. Thanks for joining us here. We're just looking at your qualification on the tournament leaderboard. All right, so now we're going to jump into a revolve command. We're going to revolve this region here, and for our revolve axis, we'll pick this region down here. And there we go, hit the green check mark, and those are our first two features. Now, what's nice is that now we can line up our next features to those features. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be creating the kind of rib shapes coming from the center outward. So this is why it's nice to not include that hole, you know, to begin with, because then we have to go back in and do like a delete face. And, you know, you guys know I love delete face. I'll use delete face all day if I could, but we don't necessarily have to do that if we just make it solid and then add the hole at the end. That's generally considered best practice in 3D CAD. So now I'm going to go to the front plane, begin a sketch. So S key, begin a sketch, N key, get normal 2. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show the sketch from the revolve, and that way I can reference any of the geometry from that sketch, like that center line. So for this first kind of rib shape, it's going to be a shape that looks like this. It's going to come over, come back, touch the end point, come around with a radius here, come down to the bottom here, come over, come up, touch the end point, come around with a radius here, come over like so, and then we'll make sure that that line is horizontal. We'll make sure that these points are coincident. And then we just need to double check some of the tangencies here. So like this and this should be tangent, press T. This and this should be tangent, we'll press T, just in case we didn't get those. And then maybe this point and this point could be coincident, so I. And then we can do S key dimension, and the dimension from the bottom of this support over to here is going to be 45, and the dimension from the support, or just the support thickness there, is going to be 15. This radius here is going to be 15. And then these two are going to be concentric. It's going to have a kind of a uniform wall thickness. So this will be, was it Shift O? Is that how we get concentric? Yes, remembered that one. And then what we can do is we can grab one of these blue points and move it a little and see what's wrong, because I think that should be black at this point. So it looks like this is not horizontal. So click on that one, H, boom, all black. That's what we want, nice and fully constrained, fully defined every time. All right, and we're going to now take this geometry and we're going to extrude it. So S key extrude, and we're going to say that's going to go to a depth of 40. And then we can just press tab, 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 and symmetric. You can press the space bar. And this is going to be an add and merge with all. So we're merging those other two bodies, or those other two parts together with a bridge. So you'll notice here that if I'm making this new, then we're creating 3 separate parts here in the tree. If I do that as an add and I merge it, then we just have one single part here in the tree. We're merging everything together. So we hit the green check mark, and there we go. There's the beginning of that bridge. And so now we can again go to the front plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal 2. And now for this one, what we're going to do is S key line. And we're going to go to, again, kind of to this kind of center area here, come over with the line, come back, touch the end point, and then we can just kind of come down like so, come down to around this region here. And then we can make that radius 102. You can auto dimension it while you're creating it. That can be kind of a nice time saver. This point and this point, we're going to press I to make those coincident. And it looks like this one is going to be exactly in line with this kind of upper region of the revolve that we created earlier. So we could take these 2 points and press H for horizontal, kind of make that horizontal to those points there. And then there's a couple ways we could capture this information from the previous geometry, but what I usually will do is just show that previous sketch, and that way I can easily pick this line and this line and this line from that previous sketch and convert, use project convert. I could take this edge down here and I could convert, and then I could just draw one final line to kind of close it off. Kind of close off those lines there. Nice fully defined sketch, and it's referencing the previous sketch, which is good. If the previous sketch changes, this sketch will change. So S key extrude, and we can do tab, 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 and this is going to be depth of 9, and then tab, 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 spacebar for symmetric, and enter. And look at that, that is really coming together nicely. I like that. And so now I'm done with those earlier sketches, so I can just click the hide sketch here. Hide sketch, don't need to see those anymore. If the planes are getting in my way, I can press the letter P. That hides your planes. Just kind of makes it a little easier to see in Onshape. And let's see here. FPV Kev says he listened to the song, the Fully Define Every Time song, and he said that it is now stuck in his head. Nice. Can't unhear it now. Very nice. So how's the leaderboard going, guys? Are we getting answers in the leaderboard? Let me know in the chat if that top 100 board is working. I'm not going to look at it till I'm done with my model here. Well, let me know if anything's not working, of course. All right. And now for our location for those bosses, looks like it's going to be a rectangle 40 by 80. For that rectangle, and we're going to have an offset distance there of, this is going to be an offset of 15 to start those bosses. And then we could take that geometry and just make it Q. We can just press Q to make it construction. Okay, so that takes care of that. And now we could jump into a circle command here, and we could say we want that circle to have a diameter of 18. And then we can make the other circles. So circle, circle, and circle. And then we can just pick those 4 circles, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice that Onshape gives you a little indexer. It's telling me I've got 4 things selected. So that means that now if I press E, all 4 of those circles become equal to that first circle. So that makes it really easy for me to know that I've got the correct number of things selected. And then that's going to get extruded up to a depth of 4 millimeters. So 4, enter, enter. And now we are ready to take that geometry and add some fillets. So fillet, 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 and that fillet is going to be at 3 millimeters, and we can add some fillets here as well. So fillet, fillet, this is the one that I think most people are going to miss. So we'll make that 6 millimeters. Dom broke the leaderboard. Okay, good. Leaderboard must be broken. It shows me at the bottom. Nice. All right, and so we hit the green check mark there for those fillets, and now we'll finish this thing off with some cut extrudes. Oh no, one more fillet, sorry. Fillet, and this is going to be on these 1, 2, 3. Remember, Onshape does have a select other. If you just kind of put your mouse here in this area, you can press the tilde key, and then you can pick that edge there from behind. The tilde key is that key kind of in the upper left corner. So Onshape does have a select other, so they don't have to rotate the model to get that extra fillet edge. If you want, let me show you that again real quick here. So if I go S key fillet, and then I go 1, 2, 3, and then I want to get this final edge here, I just press tilde, and I can press it again until I can kind of get to that edge. Sometimes you got to move your mouse around until it actually highlights, and then you can left click, and boom, you didn't have to rotate the model. I think that's a lot easier than rotating the model to pick that extra edge. So we hit the green check mark. There we go. There's our fillets. And now we just got our cut extrudes. So this face here. Actually, let's do this with a hole. So we'll go to the hole command. This is going to be a hole created here. Select mate connectors. So simple hole, metric, select mate connectors. That way we can just pick here on this face. It's going to get it right at the center of that face or the edge. It'll put it at the center of that edge as well. And then this one is going to have a through hole diameter of 12. And that's going to be through. And hit the green check mark, and then we can do another hole here, use the mate connector option, get the center of that face, and that's going to have a through hole of 18. Boom. Nice. I like using the hole in that spot because it actually names it in the tree. Saves me a little bit of time of renaming. And so now we can just assign the material, 1060 aluminum. So we come over here to our name of the part here, right mouse button. We say assign material. This is going to be TooTallToby's custom materials, 1060 aluminum, hit the green check mark. Also, it's good to come over here to the name of the part and say edit appearance and kind of make the part look a little bit more like the customer part. Customers always like it when you do this kind of stuff. Makes them happy. Makes them happy, gets you a little bit more business. Win, win, win. Get that to match up there. Okay. And now we can... Now we already assigned the material, right? Materials from the TooTallToby material, 1060 aluminum. So now we can click this this icon down here. It looks kind of like a... I guess it's like a scale. Scales of justice. Pick this phase here, 530.5. So now we come over here into the app. We type in 530.5 and enter. And, oh yeah, we did it. Yes. That's what I like to see, baby. So when you see that purple box, that's telling you, like, yeah, you did it. Good job. Congratulations, you got it correct. 17 minutes and 13 seconds. Not bad. Not bad. 530.5 is the correct answer. And so we say submit. And now let's see where we landed on the leaderboard. So now we can come down here. Now this is a cool thing. Since we're doing this live, we just released it. So look at Dom came in 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Never saw the part before. Never saw this model before. 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Boom. Answered it and answered it correctly. Validated it against the challenge. It's so cool. Metab coming in here 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Very cool, Metab. We got Rambro's Workshop, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. 6 minutes 41 seconds. Aaron C. 10 minutes 41 seconds. Perkins Peak Kieran's from Ireland. Welcome, my friend. 15:29. Nikola Tesla coming in here 17:13, and Karch coming in 17:18. Well done, well done. Not an easy model at all. Definitely a challenging model. So anybody who was able to get through it in that limited amount of time, you should be very impressed with yourselves. But pretty cool that we're able to start using this board now. We're gonna kind of keep using this board. We're gonna see how it evolves in these live competitions. But I think it's really cool that we're able to kind of see right away how people are doing as they're going through and trying to finish these challenges. So congratulations to Dom. Well done. Dom and Rambros getting the points today. Very nice, and not an easy challenge. Definitely not an easy challenge. And so what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to continue to kind of cycle through some of these featured model challenges. You know, we saw Dom was able to go through it and do it in just 4 minutes on his first try. Well, eventually, you know, what you can do in these featured model challenges is you can look at your data and analytics, and this is one that uses the try again. You know, we saw some great feedback earlier from the community saying that try again is a really important feature. You know, that people really like to use that try again. So we absolutely appreciate that feedback. And you guys can see here that when you do these runs, you can, in the featured challenge model, you can use the try again functionality. And then you can see here in your data and analytics how you're improving. But you can also make a recording of yourself. So you guys might have seen my YouTube video. I made a recording of myself doing this one in 1 minute and 50 seconds using Onshape, and then I submitted this video right here. And that way I show up here on the community videos tab on the speed modeling leaderboard. So if you guys want to show up on that speed modeling leaderboard, this is your chance. Whether you're a Practice Models Premium subscriber or whether you're still kind of testing things out, not getting ready to make that purchase, but still testing things out here on the site. Either way, you're going to be able to get in here. You're going to be able to complete this model. You're going to be able to use the try again functionality, and you're going to be able to go into data and analytics and add your run to the speed modeling leaderboard. So a lot of fun here on the TooTallToby website. Looking forward to seeing some of the different runs as they are filtering in here on this brand new featured model challenge. We'll leave both of these up here for a few more days. I know there's still some fun activity here on this one. I like seeing Crispy Co and Metab going back and forth on this one. But of course, your speed runs will be captured for, not just for this challenge here, but for it'll be captured indefinitely in this part. If we scroll down here in the library to 250402, the model's still going to be here, and your speed runs are always going to be captured here in the speed modeling leaderboard for that model. Regardless of whether you're Practice Models Premium subscriber or not, your speed run is going to remain captured in here. So good job to everyone who's been doing those speed modeling, speed runs. And I guess we can see an example of that here on this one, right? We had this one open up last week. Well, this one's available for everybody anyway. Maybe not a good example, but yeah, so we'll see here that we're going to get more and more of these runs here in the speed modeling competition. And if that sounds good to all of you, be sure to hit the like button on this channel. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And be sure to join the party and sign up for some training. We got some great training options available. Guys, I think that brings us about to the top of the hour. I want to say congratulations so much to Rambro's Workshop. Congratulations to all of you in the chat. Thank you, of course, to all of you in the chat. I look forward to this every Monday. It really is a great way for us to kick off the week together, and so I'm so appreciative of all of you. And so we're going to do it again next week. I'll be back at home base next week, April 21st, so we'll see more CAD versus CAD action next week. But, of course, I want to say thank you all so much. Congratulations to our winners. Congratulations to Rambro's Workshop. Congratulations to Dom. You guys both will see your point added to the TooTallToby Model Monday Live leaderboard at TooTallToby.com. And if anybody has any questions for me, you can always reach out on the Contact Us page, and you can always reach out on the Discord as well. And again, it's just really nice to see all of you. It's nice to hang out with all of you in here. Appreciate all the feedback, all the ideas, all the suggestions. It really means a lot. It really goes a long way to helping us continue to develop the app and develop the community. So join us in Discord, hang out with us during the week. Be sure to like the videos, be sure to share the videos, be sure to share the channel, and I will see everybody in the next TooTallToby live stream. See you, everybody.